Hey guys, this is Comics G-Man, and I just want to share with you why, even with all of my bitching and complaining and constant criticisms of the DC movies, the DCU, what's going on right now, why I still have this love-hate relationship with it. So if you want to find out what I have to say, stay tuned. All right, so I was just thinking to myself, like, why is it do I find myself coming back to the DC movies and just thoroughly enjoying them, even the bad ones? I always find that through rewatching them, I enjoy them a little bit more. Like, I've been rewatching Supergirl again. I watched all the behind the scenes. Now, it's still a big tragedy of a movie. Don't get me wrong. They fucked up. The box office is it is a bigger deal than people are trying to sell it as. It did ruin the DCU, but watching the movie, I do enjoy it in my own kind of way. I have memories from this movie now, memories of going to that fan screening, memories of being very pumped up about, talking shit about it on my channel, buying the figurine, having the comic up, buying a statue for it, and I pre-ordered a statue that's going to be coming out in January for it. So, and just, seeing the fan screening with my mom specifically, just even though I wasn't happy at the fan screening, the experience before that and the excitement before that was a memory in itself. But anyway, why do I keep going back to this? Well, what I do appreciate how DC does things, even when they're fucked up, I do appreciate the fact that they try to change things up a little bit. They try to mix it up, you know what I mean? And even with Lanterns, as much as I was not impressed with episode 1 of Lanterns, I do have tremendous respect that they went through a whole different tone for this show now, especially that it's connected to Superman. You know what I mean? So like it's not as bright, it's dark, it's kind of soulless. I still argue that Lanterns is very soulless so far. We'll see how it is in episode 2 next Sunday. But DC does have a lot of balls, and it might not be good that they have a lot of balls because it's financially destroying them. But in a sick, twisted, kind of underdogish way of me, I kind of like that. Does that make sense? And Marvel, the reason why, in terms of like the MCU, the reason why I don't have really any respect for them and I trash them more. I probably trash the MCU more than the DCU. And I know the whole world will be looking at me like I'm insane, and that's fine because everybody loves the MCU. But I don't respect the MCU because I feel like it's kind of living off of its past. It's capitalizing off of the name and the names. And what I mean by that is Robert Downey Jr., I mean, come on, he is a perfect example of what I'm trying to say. I mean, the guy does not have to do this. He's got $400 and something million, probably 300. He probably spent it on stuff, whatever. Not my business. That's his business. But he's probably getting another huge paycheck from this just for cosplaying Doctor Doom. Now, I think it's uncreative. I think it's lackluster. And look, I like Robert Downey Jr., but frankly, I feel like someone else should have been given the chance to enter the suit of Doctor Doom. Robert Downey Jr., it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense because we all have a collective memory of his Iron Man performance, Endgame, Infinity War, you name it. We all have a collective memory of who he was as Iron Man. And I think it's actually very unfair to make him Doctor Doom. And look, I know that sounds crazy because Hollywood is anything but fair. I'm not saying that I'm expecting anything that's like makes sense in Hollywood. But what I'm saying is why I like DC is because even though they're fucked up, they do give new people chances to star. Now, a lot of people do not like David Cornsweet. I'm not one of them. I absolutely love him. Hey, I rewatched Superman 25 tonight, again, probably for the 12th time this year. I think it's a masterpiece. I think Superman 2025 is a masterpiece. And so far, the best thing that came out of the DCU. Unfortunately, nothing else has topped it. It is still the champion of the DCU right now. But like I said, it gives new people chances, like David Cornsweet as Superman, Millie Alcock as Supergirl. Now, I could argue that Jason Momoa is basically like the Robert Downey Jr. of this situation. They put him in there because we all know him as Aquaman, and he's got a big name. So they do that here and there with in the movies here. But for the most part, like Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor, even though not my favorite Lex Luthor on screen, he comes a little bit too whiny at times, but it's still great. It's still great. But yeah, Nicholas Hoult, even though he's a big actor, he was Beast in X-Men. He was in a lot of other movies, like a Clint Eastwood movie, Juror number 3, I think, or number 2 it was called. But he's not like, even though he played Beast in X-Men, it wasn't like a big fat name role. So they made him bigger, I think, with the Lex Luthor role. I really do. And what else? You know, like you get what I'm saying. Like even the Snyder movies, like Gal Gadot came out of nowhere for me, at least. I didn't know who she was. Ben Affleck, yeah, I mean, he played Daredevil in the past, but I think Ben Affleck was an awesome pick for Batman. I still one of my favorite Batmans on screen. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people don't like that because he kills. But I take it like this. It's Snyder's world, and it's like a Frank Miller Batman meets like a dark Batman. You know, like it's not Frank Miller's Batman all the way because, you know, but it is because he's kind of thick. He's a little fat. He's old. But I don't remember if Frank Miller's Batman killed. That I don't remember. And Henry Cavill too. Like, I mean, he got big because of the Man of Steel. So like I do, and what was his name? The guy who played Shazam, Levi. Jason Momoa was big with Conan, I guess. But bringing him in as Aquaman was a really awesome idea. Ezra Miller as the Flash grew on me over the years. Of course, he's not like the guy from the CW show, but I do like Ezra Miller as the Flash. He grew on me. He really did. John Cena, even picking John Cena as the Peacemaker was brilliant, in my opinion. I thought that was awesome. Margot Robbie, of course, is Harley Quinn. But like, all I'm saying is, I guess at the end of the day, I do like the characters better in DC, like just from the comics in general. And I just relate to it more than Marvel. That's just how I feel. The Marvel stuff, it just like, I don't know, man. They just don't hit with me. They just don't connect with me. But I mean, I'm not saying this to say that like DC is superior. Like obviously they're fucked up. I mean, I told one of my friends today at work, she was like, how could you not like the MCU? You like DC or something like that. And I was like, well, I mean, I'm being honest here. DC is dead. DC is dead. Supergirl killed DC. But in my opinion, the MCU as well is on a lifeline. Now, it has a way better chance to live because it's living off of everybody's nostalgia, and it's giving everybody the idea that this is going to be like how it used to be. I don't think that's the case. I really don't. I mean, I saw that trailer number 2, did not look good, was not impressed. But that's just me. That's just me. But yeah, like MCU is definitely going to perform better than any. It already has. Spider-Man Brand New Day has performed way more than Superman and Supergirl combined. You know, so as a DC fan guy, I'm not delusional or blind. I understand the truth and the reality of the situation. Spider-Man overshadows pretty much everything of DC, unfortunately. because every kid loves Spider-Man. Superman nowadays is more of an acquired thing because when you're a kid, you don't look at things a certain way. You just love Spidey. And Superman is actually a harder sell for kids these days, believe it or not. In my opinion, I think it's a harder sell for kids than Spider-Man. Spider-Man has been a kid's thing since I was a kid, and it still is. You know, there's just something about Spider-Man that just gets everybody. It does, and it got me through my childhood. I still love Spider-Man, but I don't like the newer iterations of it. But I understand why it still works so well. Superman, actually, I grew to love Superman as I got older. When I was a kid, I was like, Superman is so lame. He's got his underwear. He's just got lame superpowers, and he's just so cliche. But it was as I got older that I love Superman more and more. It's really, I don't know how that works or why it worked like that, but that's just me specifically. That's just my story specifically. There's a lot of people who love Spider-Man and will, you know, that will be their only superhero forever and ever, and that's fine. I grew up with Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire was my childhood. So I'm not shitting on you if you feel like that. I'm just saying, like, my superhero taste changed over the years. For some reason, Christopher Reeves was definitely the one responsible for that, for sure. Because Henry Cavill did not change me the direction for me to like Superman. It was watching Christopher Reeves at an older age again and realizing just how fucking good it was and why Superman is such a great character still. So yeah, Christopher Reeves was the one who definitely changed my tastes. You know what I mean? It was him. It wasn't Henry Cavill. It wasn't Henry Cavill. Because even when Henry Cavill came out, I was still all about that Marvel stuff, all about the MCU mostly. And where I really got more into the DC though was Batman versus Superman, the Ultimate Edition, not even the theatrical version. Because when I went to see it in the theaters, I did not like it. But when I watched the Ultimate Edition of Batman versus Superman, that's where I started to look at DC like, there's something about DC that I'm going to just start looking at more. You know what I mean? So, and I was like in like the beginning of high school at that time, maybe, or the end of it, or the middle. Yeah. But anyway, the DC, it just shakes things up a bit for me. I like the people that they pick, even when they fuck up. Like Supergirl, they fucked up, but the cast that they picked, I think, are a great cast. They look good. They fit the character. Lanterns, as much as I did not like the episode 1, Kyle Chandler I like, but I don't. He's not a great Hal Jordan. I don't picture him as Hal Jordan. But the guy they picked, Aaron Pierre, for example, as Jordan Stewart, is like, that's John Stewart. But maybe he just needs to get more into the role. Maybe as the show goes on, he gets more into the role. But so far, the way they're making Aaron Pierre act is very wooden. I am not feeling anything from his John Stewart. You know, especially when compared to like the animated John Stewart stuff I used to love. But you know, maybe Lanterns will get better. But I'm telling you, man, Lanterns, I'm getting that kind of that Last of Us season 2 vibes. There's just something about it. You know what I mean? It's not giving me good vibes at all. I'm getting the same vibes I had when Last of Us season 2 came out. You know, truth, honestly. But yeah, I just thought I'd share with you guys why I am a DC fan, despite it being like, you know, in a terrible state right now, and they're not making the right decisions. The Supergirl has been its downfall. I really do think that it ruined a lot of stuff. But I am looking forward to Man of Tomorrow reluctantly. They could fuck that up, but I got a feeling if they try to retain the Superman 2025 energy and push that onto Man of Tomorrow with the addition of all these new heroes that they're adding to the roster, Man of Tomorrow could be a fucking hit. So I'm not closing my mind to that. Don't worry. And even if it sucks, even if I hate it, I'm probably going to watch it and watch it and watch it and love it anyway, even if I hate it, because I'm a masochistic DC fan. Let's just be honest here. Even though there's plenty of days sometimes I get so nihilistic where I'm like, you know what? I just don't want to do anything. I'm tired. I want it all to just stop, you know? But I shake myself out of it. We all get that, right? Or am I just crazy? jokes aside, all right, guys, like, subscribe, comment as you see fit.
I'm gonna throw you out the window now.